Welcome back everyone. Now we're going to learn about the main memory. So let's learn about the main memory. We are having two parts, RAM and ROM. As you can see, I have already written it down here. So what is the full form of RAM? Well, it is random access memory. Random access memory. And what is the meaning of the ROM? This is read only memory. So let's learn few of its terms, then we will go in the details of it. So what is the difference in both these two things? That is incredibly interesting, obviously. So the thing is, RAM is very fast and ROM not necessarily be that fast, or you can say relatively slow. It is always relatively slow. And what else we can have? Well, we are having RAM is temporary. Well, I will explain that in just a while. And ROM, its data stays, well, forever unless you delete it, unless you decide to delete it. Okay, so let's study the RAM in more detail. So what is the RAM? So random access memory. We are going to learn about this, and this is very interesting. Well, if you already know that, let's learn it from the engineer's eyes. Well, it's nothing much special about that, but the speciality itself don't sounds. Well, you will learn about what I just said in a while. Okay, so the technology of this main memory is based upon semiconductor integrated circuits called RAM. If you have ever seen that, you might have noticed there are the chips, and there are the chips. Well, I have tried to make it. So these are the ICs, and you surely have seen the path if you have already seen that all the things. So it is having semiconductor technology, semiconductor technology with, so with IC, basically integrated circuits, couple of integrated circuits. That's the whole thing. Well, the memory is called random access memory as the data can be read as well as we can write it. So we can read and write the data as wherever or whatever way we want it. Well, there are two types of the RAM. First is known as static RAM. Static RAM, also called for the abbreviation SRAM. The second one is called as dynamic RAM. Dynamic RAM, that is DRAM. Well, these days in the market we have the third one, that is called as SDRAM. Well, can you guess its full form? No, it's not static dynamic. It will change the whole scenario if you said this. So it is synchronous dynamic RAM. Synchronous dynamic RAM. So that's the difference. Well, we are going to focus upon static and dynamic RAM, as this will going to give us the strong basis that what is what. So let's see the SRAM. What is the SRAM? Well, in the SRAM, the information that we stored, as long as power is supplied. As long as power is supplied. Power is supplied. You can just simply imagine that sometime it happens, if you have gone through the SRAM thing, that when you switch off or simultaneously it gets off, everything that is present on the SRAM gets off. That's called SRAM or static RAM. The static RAM consists essentially the internal flip-flops. So we can add this as a point here. It is having internal flip-flop. Internal flip-flops. And what we can have more here is that store binary information, as pretty much obvious thing. Store binary, it store the binary information. Like everything stores the binary, everything is working inside a computer or any machine is actually binary. You cannot just store a picture, you cannot store a movie, you cannot store a data, you cannot store something. You are just storing the zeros and ones, the millions and millions and millions, maybe billions, trillions, sometimes just zeros and ones. Then all of that information get fetched up by the CPU and present you in the main memory. You are able to see that image, you are able to see that data, you are able to listen up that song, you are able to watch that movie. So everything inside a machine is just a form of 0 and 1. That's it, nothing else. Okay, so we have gone through the SRAM. Now it's time to go through the DRAM, which is dynamic RAM. So let's study about the dynamic RAM now. Well, if this is something that goes with the power, so that must dynamic RAM must be something that keeps the information. Well, exactly, you guessed it right, my dear friend. So the information stored information stored by charging capacitor. Does the information persist? Does the information that we stored stays or persist, you can say persist. Well, for very small time, obviously, for small time. Well, from the DRAM, we understand that we have a capacitor. And what a capacitor do? It charged up when you provide some voltage to it. And when the voltage is removed or not there, it will get discharged. But it takes some time to discharge it. That's the whole logic. And also, the advantage of DRAM is low power consumption. It consumes low power as it can keep the things for a while in its own form, which is called as capacitor. So it is low powered, or it requires a low power consumption. And we have large storage capacitor. We have large storage capacitor. Well, these all the problems are solved in the SDRAM, synchronous dynamic RAM, in which actually it keeps the information and it works even more fast. Well, we will discuss it someday, not now, because we are studying the basics of the RAM. So these are the main RAMs, and even in these days, I said it basic, but 95% we are using one of these and not the SDRAM. So that's how the things are changing up. Nothing comes in digital electronics just like a hurricane. It comes very slowly, and even something new comes, your older knowledge don't get wasted because you have built it on the basis of the science. The science don't change. You can surely improvise all the time. As I mentioned that you can keep the cache memory inside the CPU. It was external that we have studied it, but we can keep it inside, like here. Okay, so let's come to the applications. So the first application I would like to mention here is SRAM. SRAM is used in implementing the cache memory. And the second point I would like to mention here is DRAM, about the DRAM. So the DRAM is used, well, I'm writing it in this way, it will faster mode, the main memory. The main memory. So these are the two applications I have presented about the SRAM and DRAM. As you can see, the SRAM is using the cache memory. It is implementing everything in the cache memory, and that will going to communicate with the main memory. And in the DRAM, we have the main memory used to implement the main memory. Well, implementation is the keyword here. That's it. Now, that's whole point of the RAM. Well, in the next one, we are going to study about the ROM. I'm keeping these sections lessons shorter because this is one topic at a time. It is having its fulfillment in just one. That's why the topics are short. So congratulations, you have just learned about the RAM. We will continue with the ROM in the next one. Till that time, take care and God bless.